Another very important aspect of having healthy libido, having healthy sexual energy. Hey guys, I'm Jonathan White. I'm here to help you master your sexual energy so that you can magnetize your ideal life. So I want to talk about some ways that you can naturally improve your libido, improve your sexual energy. So as we are young, in our teenage years, we often take for granted the abundance of sexual energy and vitality that we have. And it's easy to waste this energy as we age, by masturbating constantly, by having too much sex, by ejaculating too much, because ejaculating takes such a toll on a man and his resources, and it can really deplete you of your energy and lead to a lot of sexual problems and dysfunctions if not resolved. And so I want to share with you some things that have been very helpful for me in staying very high libido, high sexual energy, and just glowing with energy and vitality in general. So the number one most important thing is sleep. You need to be getting enough sleep. It's easy to overlook this, and it doesn't matter if you're eating the healthiest diet in the world, if you have the greatest exercise program, whatever. None of these things matter so much if you're not getting enough sleep. We live in this excess yang world. It's this go, over accomplishing world, and people often sacrifice their sleep schedule to get more things accomplished in the day. And of course, the paradox of this is that you are much more productive when you're well rested. And so the body needs sleep. It needs sleep. You should be sleeping at least 8 hours a night. Some people can perform optimally on 7 hours, but usually you need at least 8 hours of sleep. You need to be getting high quality sleep every night to perform optimally. And another thing I want to point out that's been very helpful for me is to minimize or completely eliminate any screen time at least 2 or even 3 hours before bed. So by looking at our phones, at TVs, electronic devices, we are absorbing this blue light into our eyes, and this suppresses our melatonin production. So it leads to very poor quality sleep. Me personally, if I'm on my phone or computer even an hour and a half before going to bed, I usually have trouble sleeping. So I always shut my phone off at least 2 hours before I go to bed, and that's been really helpful for me. Another super important thing for increasing your libido, your health in general, is drinking plenty of water, being hydrated, but also the quality of water that you're drinking is very important. Our bodies are 70% water. It's the dominant element in our body. And so we need to support that. Most people in this world are chronically dehydrated, and this is actually the cause of many, many diseases, simply being dehydrated. So it's super important that the first thing you do in the morning is drink at least 2 glasses of water, at least about 30 ounces of water before you have any food. And that's a really solid way to start the day, hydrated, and drink plenty of water throughout the day. I try to drink about 120 ounces per day. I've heard that that's a good amount for men to drink, and I think for women it's about 100 ounces or something like that. Of course, this varies by your body weight and all of that, but be hydrated. And this alone, when I was a teenager, I used to drink a lot of soda and sugary drinks, and once I stopped doing that, once I started drinking water, I felt so much better. I had so much more energy, so much more clarity. So drink water, but also the quality of water is super important. You don't want to drink tap water like just the city's water source. Typically it's laced with all kinds of chemicals that you do not want in your body. Things like fluoride, mercury, chlorine. You do not want to be drinking these things. It takes a toll on your body. So get a high quality source of water. It is one of the most important investments you can make in your health. Another super important aspect is having proper breathing. So this is another easy thing to overlook. Most people are not paying attention to the way that they're breathing throughout the day. The slower and the deeper your breath is, the more oxygen you have, and the more you stay in a parasympathetic state. When you're breathing from your chest, like most people have all this tension in their bellies, and they're just breathing these really quick, shallow breaths from their chest, and they're low in oxygen, and they're losing energy by their breathing rather than gaining energy. So when you breathe slowly and deeply from the belly, take some time every day. I like to sit for a few minutes in the morning or in the evening and just do some deep breathing practices. And it really clears your mind, it gets you oxygenated, helps you get into that parasympathetic state, that calm, grounded, embodied state. And we can pay attention to our breath at any time during the day and turn this into a source of energy. You can use the breath to energize yourself and to increase your focus and your energy just by paying attention to it, just by breathing deeper and calmer. So it's such a powerful tool to have that knowledge. But how many people are breathing consciously throughout the day? Not very many. So it's a very empowering tool, working with the breath. Diet is another very important aspect of having a healthy libido, having healthy sexual energy. I don't endorse any specific diet. I've tried lots of different things. I was vegan for a while. I was doing raw food for a while. I've done the keto diet. My view on this now is that every person's body is different, and your body knows what you need if you just learn to listen to it. So other than trying the latest fad diet, experiment with different foods and see how they affect you. So, but some things that I will say that we can all agree on is that the more processed food is, the more far removed from its natural source, from nature, that food is, the less energy it has, because our food should contain life force. It should energize us with life force. But when we're eating foods that are heavily processed, there's no more life force left in them, and we're spending more energy digesting these foods and extracting very few nutrients from the food. So the more natural your food is and the least processed it is, the better it's going to be, the more energy you're going to get from it. And of course, you want to eat organic. I'm not going to go into the effect of pesticides and GMOs, and all the havoc that they wreak on our bodies. But eat organic and try not to eat any processed foods. For increasing your sexual energy specifically, you need to be getting enough zinc and enough iron in your diet. So something I ran into when I was vegan was that after a few months, I noticed my sexual energy, it dropped. And this was very concerning to me because I'm naturally very high sexual energy, very high libido. So when this started to drop, I was like, okay, something is not good here. And then I started to make some changes to my diet. I added some animal products to my diet. And, some vegans seem to be able to make this work, but it just wasn't working for me. So you want to be getting a healthy amount, an abundant amount of zinc, of iron, and different minerals in your diet. Selenium as well. You can eat 1 Brazil nut per day, and that has all the selenium your body needs. Some foods in general that I found very helpful for having high sexual energy are maca root, goji berries, pumpkin seeds. They have a lot of zinc in them. Chia seeds, moringa leaf. You can get bulk moringa leaf powder, and it's got tons of nutrients in it. It's a super powered, basically a multivitamin from nature. Pine pollen is a really great testosterone booster, libido booster. Tongkat Ali, which is a root herb that comes from Asia, I believe, and that is a powerful testosterone booster. Ginseng is another herb that can really boost your sexual energy, but you have to be careful with ginseng. The only kind of ginseng I would take personally is American ginseng, because I've taken Korean ginseng and Chinese ginseng, and they're just way too heating. If I take them in the morning, my heart is pounding all night and I can't sleep. So you have to be careful with those. But if you're really, really low energy, you can try those. I would avoid caffeine and other stimulants if you can, if you're drinking coffee, because it takes a toll on the kidneys and the adrenals, and it actually drains your sexual energy in the long run. In Chinese medicine, the kidneys are considered to be the batteries of the body, and they're also responsible for producing our sexual energy. So drinking, overstimulating your kidneys with caffeine and other stimulants can actually lower your your libido in the long run and the resources that your body has. Same with pretty much all drugs and mind-altering substances, like marijuana, alcohol. They deplete your sexual energy in the long run. If you're going to use those, you try to do it in a balanced way. It's really important that you exercise to keep your body moving, to keep your fluids moving, and this will improve your energy levels, improve your libido. Lift some weights, work your muscles. Working the major muscles of the body tends to increase your testosterone level, increase your production of human growth hormone. So it's going to make you feel more juicy, more manly, more sexy. So exercise is super important. Get your blood flowing. You need to keep your system circulating, and to be healthy, our bodies were made to move. They were made for movement. So by sitting down all day, you're going to get in this state of stagnance and low energy. So it's really important to get out every day and do some sort of exercise. Qigong is an incredible practice that can really boost your sexual energy. Qigong works with the energy channels of the body, and by practicing Qigong, we charge up our battery. We work with the universal energy field, and we draw in this energy from nature, from the earth, from the stars, and really charge ourselves up because the earth is just bursting with this sexual vitality. It's birthing millions of species, and we can tap into that juicy sexual energy by practicing Qigong and tuning into the earth. So Qigong is one of my daily practices that keeps me at high sexual energy levels. And then finally, another really important aspect to our libido and our sense of balance and clarity in general is spending time in nature. So when we live in the city, we're constantly bombarded with all this stimulus, artificial lighting, the vibrations and the sounds of machines moving, and we just get used to it, so we don't think too much of it. Wi-Fi waves, we're just bombarded with all these very disharmonious forces that really take a toll on our nervous system and are just really draining us of our energy. And it becomes very apparent once you start spending more time in nature just how disharmonious it can be living in the city. So it's so important to stay connected to nature. Like I said, nature is just bursting with sexual vitality, and by spending time in nature, breathe in the fresh air and just take in all of the sensuality of being in nature, you can really boost your sexual energy and give you a sense of well-being and balance in general. And finally, get some sun. The sun has this powerful effect on us. When we get plenty of sun, we just feel good, and we create vitamin D. Our body needs sun for vitamin D production, and it really balances out and improves our hormonal levels and just our sense of well-being. And this is interesting. Something I saw recently was that by exposing your genitals to the sun, for 10 to 20 minutes per day, your testosterone levels can be boosted up to 200%. Try it. It just feels great. This is often an area we keep away from, where the sun doesn't shine, right? So expose yourself to the sun. Get some sun if you can. It's so important. If you live in a wintry climate, it can be difficult, but if you can get some sun and get some sun on your private parts, it feels great, and it's very balancing for you. So these are just some ways that can really help you to boost your libido, boost your sexual energy, and really help you just feel juicy and full of life and full of vitality and keep you young into old age. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it has benefited you. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment below. Have a great day, my friends.